Good late afternoon, early evening, Trailblazers fans. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Welcome in to Blazers Game Day. It feels like it has been forever. It absolutely does. It has been a minute. All-Star break has come and gone, though, and we are back at it. The Blazers returning home tonight to face the Los Angeles Lakers. Blazers did go on a little 3-game road trip before they got to the All-Star break that saw them go to Minnesota and a 2-game stop in Denver. They dropped all 3 of those games, and then All-Star break happened. So now we're looking to see if the Blazers can bounce back tonight against the Luka-less Los Angeles Lakers. You know, I got to say the Luka-less Dallas Mavericks when they played Dallas, but now it's the Luka-less Lakers because Luka gonna sit this one out tonight as he is continuing to get the calf up to speed and get ready, get to full strength. And the team, the Lakers that is, did play Charlotte last night. Dropped that one. They battled. They tried to come back. They tried to win. LaMelo was just too much as the Hornets won 100-97 over the Los Angeles Lakers. And so you get that game under the belt, and then you're like, you know what? Luka Doncic, we can't have him. We can't have him play. And realistically, as I told Chad, look at him. Look at him. He's one of the best players in the world, and he is dodging Toumani Camara. That's what's happening here. He has seen all the highlight videos of Toumani shutting down every single star player in the league, and Luka said, "You know what? You know what, LeBron, you have that tonight, okay? I'm gonna let you try to crack the Toumani code." Of course, that's not really what happened, but if I'm making up a narrative, that's the one I'm making up because it sounds good. It sounds good if he's dodging Toumani, right? But no, he will not play tonight. We will get you any updates. We'll see if LeBron James plays tonight. You know, old man likes to take a couple nights off, too, on these back-to-backs. But the Lakers need wins. They're a team that's looking to try to make that playoff push, get in the standings, get out of the play-in, really, you know, lock things up. So they need wins, and tonight's a good chance for them to get one. But the Blazers also aren't really rolling over like they had early in the year. This team is much different than I think the team we saw in November and December, and they're putting it together. Even the games in Denver, like the first game, it was one where they kind of got blown out early because Denver went out and hit their first 11 shots. They led 38-27 after the first quarter, but they just kept coming and coming and coming. That was a night where they shot 50% from the floor. They had 44 assists. I mean, come on. What are you going to do? They scored 146 points. It was pretty crazy, right? And then that last game before All-Star break, if you need a little memory refresher, that was where Chris Murray got the start over Sharp and played all right. And then Donovan Clingan, who looked gassed, got 30 minutes and was pretty darn good in that game. And so he went and got 17 points, 20 rebounds for Donovan Clingan, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets used tonight. You had All-Star break off, but you got to remember the reason he's getting in that starting lineup is because DeAndre Ayton is out for at least the next 4 weeks as he's dealing with that calf strain. He'll be reevaluated. Remains to be seen how long he's going to be out, but it's going to allow Donovan Clingan to get a good run tonight against the Lakers. Toumani Camara, Anthony Simons, and of course we'll see what happens with the rest of the lineup. Jeremy Grant and everybody. Do you go get Grant back in there over Chris, right? So then you go 2 at the 2, no pun intended, Denny Avdia, Jeremy Grant, and all that. Or do you keep running Chris Murray out there? Does Shaedon Sharpe get back in the lineup, starting lineup that is, before the season's done? There's still a lot of storylines to unfold here with just under 30 games left in the season. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be back at Moda. I'm excited to see Donovan Clingan and company. I'm excited to see what coach rolls out there. Also excited to maybe get to see a new Trailblazer. That's right. Some news over the last week or so since we've been on. It was Sidy Cissoko was signed by the Blazers on a 2-way deal. The team ended up parting ways with Taze Moore in the process. But there's some intrigue with Cissoko because he played with Ryan Rupert in the under-18 French team, so he's got history there. He also played at the G League Ignite, so he has history with Scoot Henderson too. So it's not a bad pickup to risk a 2-way player on, especially a guy who is young. There's potential there. I think that's exactly what a 2-way contract is for, right? And he did get a chance to talk to the media the other day at practice. I want to hear what he had to say.
So, welcome to Portland, or at least you've been here for a minute. Just your thoughts on getting the two-way and where you feel like you might fit in with this team.
I mean, I want to say thank God for that first because it was a tough 2 weeks for me. I mean, I'm lucky that I got a two-way. It could be way worse. And at the end, like, I think when you get a two-way to put you a challenge against the other guy in the roster for me. So, no, I think I got to keep working, keep doing what I do, and just work hard every day. So, yeah.
How would you describe your game to Portland fans?
I mean, like I said, play defense. Lot of energy guy, able to catch and shoot, get downhill too. So and got good vision for pass the ball and stuff like that. So yeah, first like defense first. So yeah.
Has the role been explained to you by the coaches in terms of what they want to see, what they want to see you develop?
Yeah, for sure. So I think right now is probably like a little bit early because we just coming back from the All-Star break and stuff like that. So yeah, I know I'm going to be a couple of times with the City Remix team, the JIDIC team. So of course we got like a development, but we got to still talk to each other, and we're just coming back from All-Star break. So yeah,
So this is your,
yeah. So yeah,
How'd it go today?
that was great. We got some cardio. So now it was great. So we just play. So I think it's the last time I played like that was probably in the JIDIC, but against some NBA guys like that, probably like the last time I played was a couple of weeks ago. So it was good though. It was good.
How nice is it coming into this situation? You got Scoot here. You got Rayon,
Yeah.
fellow Frenchman. I mean, what's it like kind of
Yeah.
having those guys?
I mean, it's great. I mean, they just help me here. I mean, it's I can't even say. I mean, help. The word help is small because they did great since I got here. Scoot sent me a video of him, like he was happy, he called me and stuff like that. Ryan too, so that's funny. I mean, even the coaching staffs they're all excited too that I got here. So yeah.
And it's nice to hear that he gets signed, and the guys he has a history with reach out to him. Right, Scoot sends him video. He's happy. Rupert is happy for him, and he's going to play some with the remix. Might get a chance to get run with Portland here and there, but he did have one game already with the remix, and it was pretty good. I mean, one game, 22 points, 7 assists, 4 steals, 5 rebounds, shot 7 of 8 from the floor. Not too bad. Not too bad. So we'll see what the Blazers get out of him. It's also nice to hear another guy there talk about defense, right? That's where he thinks he can kind of set himself apart. And he's a big wing. He fits that role that kind of Coach Billups and the team has definitely shown that they like. I mean, depending on where you check, he's listed at between 6'6" and 6'8" and about 200 pounds. Long, athletic. He can put up a highlight reel, so it's a good get for the Blazers. And again, you can look at his overall numbers and go, well, okay, why is it such a good get? I mean, he's only played a handful of games in his entire NBA career, and if he was such a get, other players would have gone and gone after him. He has 29 games in his career. He averages 2.3 points. But the point is, he's 20 years old, right? So you're not wasting your two-way contract on someone who, is a little bit older and is still clinging on to hope. I'm not saying that was Taze Moore. Taze Moore is great, and he was great for the Rip City Remix. And it's unfortunate they had to let him go for the two-way deal because I know plenty of fans who go down the Rip City Remix games and love what he does. But he's 26, right? So if you're going to use that two-way deal, using it on a 20-year-old, especially one who has a lot of history with some guys already on your roster, it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move at all. So I like that move. We'll see what happens with him. And, of course, we'll just see what happens tonight with the Blazers as they return to action, looking to, are they going to make a playoff push, right? Play-in push, realistically, or are they going to mail this thing in and let the young guys take over? That's what remains to be seen here for the Trailblazers, and that is the question that I think everyone is kind of asking right now. And hopefully we get a little bit of an answer tonight, or at least in the next handful of games. As I told Chad, I fully expect them to just go after it and then eventually wave that white flag when mathematically it doesn't matter anymore. But we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to head down to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Billups has to say to the press ahead of this game. Blazers, Lakers coming at you. Tip-off in a little under 2 hours right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. It's time now for the Coach's Corner. He should be up at the podium any second now, and as usual, once he gets there, Shacker will do his thing. He'll put the audio up, and we'll hear what Coach has to say, and obviously we'll get an update on who's actually going to go in this one. We have seen some health updates. Sounds like most everybody outside of Thibault and Ayton is probably going to go in this one. That was the last time we checked, but you never know if anything could change. And then, again, I'm just really interested to see how this team plays out the rest of the year, man. They got some guys that deserve to be in the lineup, and I would like to get them in the lineup. Guys like Shaedon Sharpe, right? Getting back in the starting lineup would be wonderful for him. But do you continue to go with Jeremy Grant, and Denny, or all the other things you can mix up? It's clear that there's options, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of where they go. And, of course, Coach will talk about that when he gets up to the podium. But, of course, until then, if you want to join in on the conversation, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio is one way to do it. You can also go on to social media, type in Chris J. Burkhardt or Rip City Radio 620. Follow me and the station there as well. And if you're just tuning in and you haven't heard yet, Luka Doncic not playing tonight. He is out as he's continuing to deal with his calf. So there's the update there. No Luka. But here's Coach at the podium.
Who's going to start? Huh? Who's going to start?
Ant, Jeremy, Denny, 2, DC.
Coach, what's your goal for the team in these last 27 games of regular season?
Yeah, I mean, my goal is for us to just keep getting better and, approach every single game and try to win and try to play well and try to, guys to keep taking steps, developmentally. And just continue to keep taking steps. I feel like we've taken some pretty important steps, and I just want to just keep going, just keep going the best we can, knowing that, this part of the season is always pretty difficult, because you got teams that are really, really pushing, trying to get there. And then you got, some teams that aren't, and I'm just happy to be where we at, to be honest with you. So for me and for us, I just want us to just keep getting better, my development, me personally, trying to keep getting better, just the same as the team.
Chauncey, Donovan's played over 30 twice this season. Do you think you can get into that on a nightly basis, or are you going to try to keep him a little bit under that, or kind of what's the goal of him over the final 27?
Nah, I don't really even look at the minutes. I look at him, I just judgment call every time. But I think he's worked himself into, being in really good shape, like he was before he got injured. So, again, you look to see how far you can push him, and if he's doing well out there and he's not too tired, I know that I can play a little more extended minutes with him. And if he needs a breather, I'll get him out.
You talked the other day about viewing the remaining season in chunks of like 4 or 5 games. But with the monster road trip coming up, does it make, especially with the players talking about trying to make the plan, it makes these 2 games seem pretty big, whether you acknowledge it or not, in terms of that race, because you go on the road for 8. Do you agree with that?
I think they all are, man. I mean, I really do, Aaron. Like, I think they all are. When you're a young team like us, man, every single game is just such a big deal. There's so many swings that can happen in a game. I still see it the same way I said the other day. I look at this thing and, I take 5 games at a time, in those type of chunks for me. And this is just the first game in it, But, yeah, we do have a really tough, incredible road trip ahead of us. But we're not on the road for 2 more games, and we're not good enough or experienced enough to look ahead at all. We got this Laker team in front of us tonight, and although Luka's not playing, they're 12-4 in their last 16 games. They were one of the hottest teams like we were. And this same team pretty much beat us the last time we played them in L.A. AD didn't play. Luka wasn't there. LeBron played. He was 7 for 10 from – it was almost the same exact team, So, yeah, we just don't have that luxury to look ahead. But yes, this is a big game for us. Saturday is another big game for us, and I am happy that we're at home.
All right. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
And there you hear from Coach Billups. Obviously, the big thing coming out of that is we were talking about it kind of heading in. Who's going to be the starters tonight? And he confirmed it's going to be Ant, 2, Denny, Grant, and Donovan Clingan in the starting five tonight. Also did say that everyone else who has been a little bit iffy, a little bit questionable. So obviously Scoot Henderson, Jeremy Grant was one of them, and Robert Williams all a go tonight. So that's good for the center rotation. Hopefully relieve Donovan Clingan just a little bit. Maybe he doesn't have to go for a full 30 plus. He was so gassed in Denver, man. You could tell. But you did love the performance. I mean, he has played 30 plus minutes twice this season. Twice. One time he goes out and, ties a Blazer rookie record, 20 rebounds. The other time he goes out, gets 8 blocks, tying Blazers rookie records. Like, come on. Big things happen when you play the big man, big minutes. Big. It's nice to see. So we'll see what happens with him tonight. Obviously, Time Lord's going to help that a little bit, but it's just nice to see that Donovan gets that run, gets that nod, and goes out there and plays big. I mean, and that the fact that he went out there and had 20 rebounds too in that game, it's like it wasn't a small potatoes type game. Like he was going up. He's on the floor with Nikola Jokic. I mean, come on, he's on the floor with Nikola Jokic, the best players in the history of the game. So it's not as if he's playing against scrubs when he goes out there, and that's big time. Now you heard Coach mention too that you can't take this team lightly even without Luka Doncic out the floor because they're a hot team, and they are, as he said, they over the last 15 games, they have a couple losses, but they also have a nice string of victories as well. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They've jumped up to 5th in the Western Conference. So when we talk about them trying to make sure solidify their playoff spot, they don't want to be in the play-in, right? They don't want to be in the play-in. Maybe the Blazers do, but the Lakers do not. They don't want to have any of their postseason potential at risk. So they want to solidify one of those top 6 seeds, and so they're going to bring it all tonight against the Blazers. And last time they matched up, which is January 2nd, there was no Anthony Davis in that one. So you had LeBron, Rui, Jackson Hayes, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, who's not there. That was part of the Luka trade. But LeBron had 38 points. He was 7-10 from beyond the arc. He was 15-25 overall. He also had 8 assists. And so he had a very LeBron-esque game. Austin Reeves threw in 15. Now, Max Christie had 28, so who fills that void? We will see. Maybe it's Dalton Connect, who was not a Laker and then a Laker again after the Williams trade didn't go through. But it's the Laker team that's beat them before. So you have to be prepared for what they're going to give you. You have to absolutely be prepared for LeBron James to come at you full bore and full speed. And I think the Blazers will be, because I am very excited, as you should be too, to watch Toumani Camara get manned up against LeBron James tonight. Now, LeBron James may not be the same LeBron James that we saw in Cleveland or Miami, right? But he's still one of the best players in the league. Like, he's not the guy who's number one anymore, but he's still top. Like, he is still, when he wants to turn back the clock and go ham, he can turn back the clock and go ham, right? And so Toumani Camara is going to have to bring that defensive presence tonight and be locked in. And I think it's going to be kind of must-watch TV. Basically everything that Toumani Camara has done defensively has turned into must-watch basketball. He has been tasked with guarding the best players in the league night in, night out, and always steps up to the task. There was a great video on YouTube about his defense that the Trailblazers posted or reposted on social media the other day. But it's like he stays in front of his man. When he gets beat, he still finds ways to recover. And it's like some of the blocks he gets where he jumps and stops mid-jump to jump again. Like, what? Like, you're changing trajectory. You're getting chase downs. You're doing everything you can, like, defensively. Like, this guy, if he doesn't get at least some votes for NBA All-Defense, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked because I think he is on everybody's radar with how good he is. So what can he do against LeBron tonight? Because that's going to be the question with no Luka on the floor, and they're going to need it. Because, again, even without Luka and Anthony Davis, it was a 114-106 victory for the Lakers down in Crypto.com Arena January 2nd. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, It's time for our Coors Cold Hard Facts. What is the fact I'm going to drop on you today? It might have something to do with the last, 27 games here left in the season. 27. Still doesn't sound like a lot, but it's still a lot. 55 games down, 27 to go, and maybe a couple extra depending on how good this Blazer team plays down the stretch. Chris Burkhardt here with you. This is Blazers Game Day presented by Coors Light on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. You can follow us on social over at Chris J. Burkhardt, as well as Rip City Radio 620 for all your latest Blazers coverage. It is time now for our Coors Cold Hard Facts, and I think that no, that's not a cold hard thought. It's a cold hard fact today. But we're going to learn a lot about this team and what this future holds over, I'm going to say, roughly the next 15 games, okay? Because as I told Chad earlier, I don't think Coach Billups is the type that wants to wave the white flag and surrender on the season. If he has a healthy team, I think he's going to put his best foot forward. He's going to try to win ball games. We saw that happen when, they rattled off 9-10 and they were the hottest team in the NBA before the All-Star break. Like, it was fun basketball, right? As I said, ride the wave. We rode the wave. The wave was fun, right? But now you get kind of that slap to reality as to what kind of team this is. And it's not as if a good team became bad. That's why they lost 3 games. It was a team that was kind of outperforming their expectations for a short stretch, kind of went back to reality and, lost those 3 games against 3 good teams. Against 2 good teams, but teams that are in the hunt, right? Minnesota is currently the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and Denver is currently the 3rd. So over the next 15 games or so, I think you're going to learn what Blazer team you got. Maybe not even 15, quite honestly. Maybe about 10 or 12, because maybe the last 15 is when you truly make your pivot. But you still have a chance if you're the Blazers to get to that play-in. The chances are very, very slim, right? Very, very slim. But I think, as we've had calls, it was Uncle Blazer, playoff on the wall, right? I mean, you're sitting 5 games back of Golden State. Now, I look at the standings right now, and the only team that realistically might take a little bit of a dip is probably Dallas, right? Sacramento is without De'Aaron Fox now after the trade, but they might still be able to figure that thing out. They're not a terrible team, but Dallas with no Anthony Davis and Derek Lively and all the big men, they are so hurt at the big position. They had to go to Trailblazers legend Moses Brown to fill that void. But they're the only team that realistically I see maybe losing a few more games than they're going to win down the stretch. But they also have Kyrie and, guys who can put the team on their back when they need to, so we'll see what happens there. So Portland's going to not only have to win some games, they're going to have to outperform them. But I still think that's something that might be achievable. Now, if they go off over the next 10 games, that's why I said it's going to take, 10, 15 games. If they go over the next 10 games and they finish 7-3 in those 10, then you're going to keep pushing forward and see what happens, right? But more realistically, they start to drop a few. And that's where I think this team is going to go. Again, I'm bringing up the other side because it's still there. It's still viable. It's still something to consider. But you got to also look at what the gauntlet is ahead, right? So they have Los Angeles tonight, Charlotte on Saturday, Utah on Monday. And those are teams that they can beat. Those are winnable games. And then they have Washington, right? After that, it's Brooklyn, Cleveland, Philly, who is down bad this year, but you still got to watch out for Boston, Oklahoma City, Detroit, Golden State, New York, Toronto. They got games against Memphis, Denver, Boston again, Cleveland again, Sacramento, New York again. It doesn't get easy. It doesn't get easy. So where this team goes from here is going to be very, very interesting. You also look at the fact that, unfortunately, the Spurs will be without Victor Wembanyama the rest of the year now after he's dealing with a blood clot in his shoulder, and they're going to put him out for the rest of the year. Apparently, he has to be put on blood thinners, and that's not something you want to do a contact sport with. So they're going to watch him, monitor him, and hopefully it's not a thing that it continues to happen and cuts his career short or anything. We are sending our best wishes to Victor Wembanyama because he's amazing. But San Antonio is also just a half-game lead on the Blazers right now. So if you're the Blazers, realistically, you have a team that's ahead of you that might very well fall behind you in this whole tankathon thing, right? For whoever the first pick might be, because it might not even be Cooper Flagg, as there's reports that he might want to stay at Duke. And if there's a team that has the donor bag to back up to his back door and say, hey, I'll give you, instead of going to the league and sign that guaranteed deal, I'll give you $20 million to stay here one more year. That makes things interesting, right? But if San Antonio jumps Portland and everything else stays chalk, that would make Portland entering lottery night with the 10th best odds of getting the number 1 overall pick. 10th best odds. And realistically, though, they still have a chance. I mean, they are only 2.5 ahead of Philadelphia at 6. That's how tight things are on the back end. It's always easy to look at the playoff race and look how tight things are at the top. And, oh my gosh, Denver is only a half game back of Memphis for the 2 seed. Houston is right there, too. 2 games back of Denver for the 3 seed. Means they're only 2.5 back from number 2. No one's catching Oklahoma City. They got an 8-game lead. But you always focus on that. But you look at how the tankathon standings are right now. Portland is seriously well within reach of getting back all the way up to the 6th seed. But they could easily fall down to 10 or 11 even, right? So there's still a lot at stake for your Portland Trailblazers. And what I mean by finding over the next 10 games kind of what route they're going to take, and I've said this before, is if you get to the point where, you know what, we put all our best chips forward, we don't really think that the play-in is viable. I am not saying tank the rest of the way. I'm not. I don't want the team to do that. You guys know this. If you listen to the show, I am anti-tank. I want the team to put the best foot forward and see what happens. And if you lose, that's okay. But you're not actively going out there going, we're losing, vets aren't playing, whatever. What I want is you've got to the point where you realize, you know what, that's the playoffs aren't viable. The play-in's not viable. And you did your conversations in the offseason, or excuse me, at the deadline, like we all thought you did. That's what Joe Cronin said, right? Well, laid a lot of groundwork for things that could happen in the offseason. Then I think you need to pull the plug, not on the vets playing, but on the starting lineup. On a night like tonight, you shouldn't have Jeremy Grant and Ant in there. You should have Scoot and Shea in there, right? If those are the guys they're gonna be your lineup moving forward, I want to see the starting 5 of Shea and Scoot and 2 and Denny and DC. Right? And still give Anthony Simons his 25, 30 minutes. Still get Jeremy Grant his 25 minutes. They're just coming off the bench the rest of the way. Because you need to get that starting 5 some run now. And I think that's a fact. A Coors cold hard fact, as it were. Because if that's where you're going to go, and you had groundwork conversations for offloading these guys, and you fully 100% anticipate trading Anthony Simons and or Jeremy Grant in the offseason, then why not start the clock on the young team starting 5 chemistry right now? Why wait until October to get Scoot, Shea, 2, Denny, and DC in as a starting 5? Right? Why? Now, there's still a very realistic chance that DA is a starting center for this team next year, and that's fine. If Dominic Lincoln's getting his 20 minutes off the bench, whatever, it's better than 12. But the point is, start that clock and start it now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Are play-in odds like there? Yeah. Are they realistic? No. But go for it anyway, because I think that's good. Give these guys an idea of what it means to go out there, put your best foot forward, and try to win ball games. That's why that stretch of 10 games where they won 9 out of 10 was so great, because for a team who is, again, a lot of young guys on this team who have experienced far more losing than winning in their tenure here, it was good to experience what that felt like. So go put your best foot forward, try to win as many ball games as you can down the stretch. Because realistically, you're getting the highest you're getting is probably the 5th best odds in the lottery. Now you can go out there, start the young guys, put your best foot forward, and still lose games and still end up 7th, which would be funny because that just seems to be where the Blazers finish now. But again, you got a team in San Antonio ahead of you who's probably going to fall a little bit. Nobody ahead of you is going to fall too much outside of maybe Dallas. So getting into the play-in would take, you're going to have to win 90% of your games the rest of the way just to do that. And I just don't think that's in the cards. But what is in the cards is letting the young guys get run. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that starting 5 go out there, and I want to see what they can do. Because that's very, very likely the starting lineup come October. And I don't want to wait till October to see it. I want to see it now. And also, quite frankly, it will be smart for management to get that starting 5 out there right now, as quick as they can, to maybe make a decision on if they think that truly is the starting 5 that they want to roll with next year. Don't wait till October and then decide, this ain't working. Guess we're going to have to make some moves at the deadline. Find out now and have the whole offseason to work with to figure out how you want to move things around. That's my Coors cold hard fact. But, as we said, 27 games left. So how did this Blazer team operate? It's going to be fun to watch regardless, I think. Because I still think outside of my wants and what your fan wants are, I know some of you are Team Tank, just let it go. Some of you want to win. I get that. Fan how you want to fan. I think regardless of what road you stand on, there's still plenty to watch for within these games that I think is going to be really interesting. I think watching Toumani Camara tonight against LeBron James is going to be fascinating. And we haven't seen a full update, but last time we checked, he was questionable, and it seems like he would probably play with Luka Doncic out. If there's an update during the show, we'll definitely let you know about it. But not only that, how does Denny roll out there? He's had some off games. Can he get back into that groove that we saw early, where he was one of the best players on this roster? Donovan Clingan, watching him get this starting nod, and I fully do not anticipate DeAndre Ayton to play the rest of the year. I mean, you're looking at 4 weeks from now. I mean, you're only a handful of games left at that point. Do you risk injury again? I mean, and the 4 weeks is also just an evaluation. It's not that he's going to be back in 4 weeks' time. It's that he would be reevaluated in 4 weeks' time. And so the reevaluation is going to put another number on if he's ready to go or not. But you roughly go back to when the injury happened, take a week away. I mean, you're looking at mid-March, and so you got 10, 12 games left. Is it worth rolling it out there or just keep going with DC? Regardless, it's going to be fun as hell to watch what he does over this next 27 games because he's going to get more run than he's had all year long. Show us why everyone loves the fact that when you play big minutes, you do big things, and you've become a fan favorite very quickly. Continue to build on that. And then obviously Scoot and Shea. I think Shea has 27 games to prove, not only to himself, but I think to this franchise that he's exactly what they want him to be. And that's the go-to scorer, the alpha dog on this team. Can he do that? Can he unlock that? Because he has to. I want to see that. And then obviously Scoot. We have seen an incredible Scoot Henderson since the calendar flipped from 2024 to 2025. He has been so good. How can he build on that? Can he get better down this stretch? Again, 27 games. What can you do? Put it all on the line. I want to see every single one of these young guys play as if they're on a one-year deal and their next big contract depends on how they play this next 27 games. And I want to see growth. And I want to see a team that this fan base can rally around, that this stadium can get packed for. That's what I want to see. And I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of you want to see too. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Go to youtube.com, type in the comments section, or hit me up on social. Chris J. Burkhardt is the name. You can also follow the station at Rip City Radio 620. Get all your up-to-date information from here at Moda. Oh, and make sure you're following our guy Sean Hyken at Hyken, because he has been doing some great work for us. He was on the road that last road trip and at All-Star break, getting some coverage that no one else was bringing you. So make sure you're following him as well. We're going to take a quick break here, though, on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, it's time for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to end their 3-game losing streak, get back in the win column, and knock off LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers? I'll let you know after the break right here on Blazers Game Day, presented by Coors Light, on your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Time now for our keys to the game, and we're going to assume that LeBron James is playing in this one. J.J. Redick did say pregame that he expects him to play, but he is still a game-time decision. So we'll see what happens there. Now, if he's not playing and you don't have Luka Doncic either, obviously that changes things up a bit, but I do gut feeling LeBron is going to play. And so in this one, I think it's going to be a key to the game is just going to be Toumani Camara and not getting in foul trouble. If he does get in foul trouble at any point, it's going to be a hard stop on LeBron James. I mean, LeBron, last time they played the Blazers, he had 38 points. He was 15 of 25 shooting. Needless to say, he was pretty good, right? He was pretty good. He still has throwback games where he can do it with the best of them. He had 26 points, 12 to 22 shooting in that game against Charlotte, that loss that the Lakers sustained just the other night at 100 to 97. So he can still get out there. He can get his, and he's going to be absolute key for this offense tonight if he goes, right? If he goes. And we'll find out in about an hour if he's a game-time decision, right? We'll find out in about an hour if he's a go or not. But without Luka, LeBron's going to be key, and then you're also going to need to make sure that the guys on the outskirts, right, aren't going to hurt you. The guys not named LeBron. So the Lakers don't have the star power that you would think they would, but they still have some really, really good players. Rui Hachimura has put together some good performances all season long, and he has some good size and length that can give the Blazers fits. Austin Reeves, we know he gets open. He could be a knockdown shooter, right? And so they still got guys in that lineup that can get it done. So you're going to have to make sure that you defend the three-point line well, you defend everybody else well, and then again, I still think the key is just going to be LeBron. And you got to make sure that, not all your focus is there, though. If you're focusing on him and he crashes it, he's too good. He's going to find a way to kick the ball out, get it to everyone else. In that game against Charlotte, he did have 11 assists as well, right? So he makes sure that everybody is getting involved at all times. So you got to always have, head on a swivel, eyes rolling, keeping track of where everybody is and making sure that you're clogging the lanes and you're not making anything easy on LeBron. If you can continue to do that tonight, I think it's a very, very good start at least, right? And then to get things going and making sure that this Laker team never finds a rhythm. I think that's the biggest thing, quite frankly, is with LeBron James in lineup, just make sure that you never let them get in a rhythm. That's key. If he gets in a rhythm, he's a snowball rolling downhill. Well, I think we all know that, right? He can absolutely put it on you. So you got to be careful not to let that happen. Cliche, right? But just focus on not letting them get in a rhythm. And again, I think that's where it comes down to guys like DC, Toumani, Denny. I think Denny, something he does extremely well is that he can throw a team off their rhythm, but not with what he does defensively, right? Because he grabs a rebound and pushes tempo, he can kind of get a team out of their comfort zone. And then on the other side, if you get Donovan Clingan clogging the paint and then Toumani Camara knocking James and everybody off their game and out of their rhythm, you're doing everything you need to do to make sure they don't get going. So those things are key. And like I said, LeBron, he'll find other people whenever he needs to. You might be shocked, but LeBron James currently 4th in the league in assists per game at 9 per game, trailing Trae Young, Nikola Jokic, and Cade Cunningham. It's pretty impressive, quite honestly. James Harden, a guy who's been a great passer his entire career, he's at 8.6. Chris Paul is at 8.1. And he's the only one, funny enough, he's the only one in the top 10, Chris Paul, who's playing less than 30 minutes a night. Sure, he's playing 29, but he's still playing less than 30. But LeBron, again, he's right there, so he's going to find ways to get others involved, so Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt Hayes. You got to watch out for where those passing lanes are, backdoor cuts, everything like that. And then offensively, I want to see Scoot get going in this one. I want to see him really lead the offense, get everyone going. I would love a Scoot Henderson bounce-back double-double tonight. Do those things, and you get back in the win column. All right, that's going to do it for Blazers Game Day, but keep it locked in here on Rip City Radio because coming up next, Chad Doing has your Blazers pregame show across the Trailblazers audio network, and then 7 p.m. tip-off, Travis Demers takes over. He will have the call, and when it's all said and done, you know what to do. You keep it locked in because it's the 5th quarter where hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Rip City, we'll talk to you after this one.